Hello, everybody. So today, I want to tell you how bad it is for SolarEdge. How bad is it? They reported their earnings, and the earnings are not great, to say the least. But I think the SolarEdge earnings actually make Enphase look pretty good, believe it or not. Both of these stocks go hand in hand. They're kind of a duopoly. But if you look at SolarEdge, so SolarEdge, a sequential decline from Q3, they just reported Q3, they did 725 million in revenue. Q2, they did 991 million in revenue. That's a precipitous decline, minus 27% sequential quarter-over-quarter decline. So this is quite a bit worse than Enphase. You can see that Enphase was minus 22.5% this quarter. Now, here's, I think, what's a little more worrying is the gross margin. You know, when gross margin declines this much, you really have to wonder, where is the competition taking your business away? The string inverter world seems to be either operating in a world of competition. There's a lot of tremendous competition for string inverters, including SMA, including a lot of the Chinese manufacturers of string inverters. I meant string inverters. They did not see the gross margin increases that Enphase has seen. Like I want to show you something crazy good for Enphase in my view, which is Enphase has increased its gross margin between Q3 to Q2. Sorry, the gross margin for Enphase have increased as they reported on Monday. So Enphase, even though the business is retrenching, they're making more money on their microinverters in Q3 2023 than they did in Q2 2023, which is a sign that you have a strong product. It's a sign that you have a brand. SolarEdge did not do that. SolarEdge saw a precipitous decline in gross margin, right? More than 12% of decline in 12 points, right? Not 12%. It's actually closer to 30% if you were to calculate the percentage decline. But they went from 32% to roughly 20% in gross margin. So tremendous decline in gross margin, a sign that I think there might be a lot of competition. And, this is understandable too, because if you think about string inverters, people who buy string inverter installs tend to be value buyers. They tend to be value shopper, right? The cheaper cost has always been the edge that SolarEdge has always had compared to Enphase, right? Enphase has always suffered from this reputation from being a premium player or more expensive player. Well, this is showing here because it's a race to the bottom when customers are trying to get products for cheap. It seems like SolarEdge, it seems like SolarEdge did a lot of margin concessions here. So I'd be curious as to why the gross margins went down so much. And I know the call should have just started by now, but the stock appears to be altered. But anyways, the outlook. Let's talk about the outlook, and that's really bad. The change in outlook for SolarEdge was actually much worse than Enphase's change in outlook. If you look at SolarEdge's change in outlook, they've guided between 300 million and 350 million. That's the same as Enphase, as if they copied the same number as Enphase, exactly the same range as Enphase. So let's assume they're both sandbagging. Let's assume 350 million. If you were to calculate it like that and, really give a benefit of the doubt on this guide and say it's going to be 350 million, that would mean that the quarter-over-quarter decline in revenue for SolarEdge would be minus 52%, quarter-over-quarter. This is a very cyclical industry, a very cyclical business. You better enjoy a roller coaster to own these stocks, and they have been roller coasters. And I don't mind it because I'm used to it. I've owned Bitcoin for a long time. I'm used to roller coasters, but this is a big roller coaster when it comes to stock, and to see this being halved like that, that's pretty crazy. Now, Enphase, I don't want to rejoice with Enphase because Enphase is not good either, but Enphase is minus 32% decline is what they've guided. So again here, Enphase appears to be way less hurt by these interest rates compared to SolarEdge. SolarEdge appears to be taking a much greater hurt from these interest rates than Enphase, pointing to the fact of what I've always said on this channel, which is Enphase in my view. I mean, Enphase has always been my favorite stock, right? I'm just glad that when I started buying SolarEdge last month, it's still a very starter position for me, SolarEdge. I really don't have that much on SolarEdge. I think one of the better questions that's going to have to be for us over the next few days is, are these drops warranted, right? It's like, okay, so revenue growth is getting cut in half. Are these stocks getting cut in more than half? And it seems to me like the drops are tremendous, and this will all depend. The assessment of this will all depend on the inventory channel, because we know SolarEdge has a problem with an inventory channel too. They shipped too much to their distributor, right? These are stocks that you can assess best by listening to the commentary of a CEO on the call. Both Enphase and SolarEdge are really bad short term, but Enphase fared much better short term than SolarEdge. Relatively, I know it sounds crazy, but it's quite a bit of a delta between more than a halving and about a third, right? It's quite a bit of a delta. And the gross margins for Enphase, let's remember, are up. They're defending the margins. SolarEdge is not defending the margins. And I myself, I'm an advocate of defending revenue growth versus the gross margin, but I know most shareholders, many shareholders, not most, but a lot of shareholders out there really care about defending the gross margins and defending the profits, right? So these stocks have to decide which shareholder base they want to cater to. But anyways, here's the news, and I'm recording this video, so I don't know what's going on, but I know it's been halted. I know SolarEdge, when I started recording, has been halted. So I don't know what kind of news this could be. I'm hoping it's a good news. I'm hoping it's something like an acquisition, right? I'm hoping it's a good news. We'll see as soon as I publish the news will probably be out. I'm hoping it's a good news. Hoping that for SolarEdge, but in the meantime, Enphase was down 3.5% today, and it's down 5.7% today because Enphase is not halted. So Enphase right now, the action after hours for Enphase is just Enphase paying the price of being associated with SolarEdge, since SolarEdge and Enphase are kind of head-to-head competitors. Again, the hours that we've spent on this channel talking about the technology, talking about the differences between DC and AC, it seems like the market doesn't care. The market doesn't care about our argument about what's the best tech, about the nuances. No, the market is very short term. They care about the headline number, and look at the headline number. Over the long run, what we discuss on this channel matters a lot. Over the short run, they just associate it, with solar. They say it's a solar. They put it in the solar basket, and they sell it off. I'm hoping it's good news for SolarEdge. We'll see why the stock is halted after I publish this video. Thank you so much for watching. This was not investment advice, just entertainment. Please like, please subscribe. Have a wonderful day.